In this video, I'm going to show you what a spiritual awakening is and discuss what it means for you on your spiritual journey. Experiencing a spiritual awakening can be a transformative journey that realigns your life with a deeper sense of purpose and connection. This profound shift often involves developing a greater awareness of yourself and the world around you. A spiritual awakening might manifest itself as a newfound understanding of your inner self and its relation to the universe. Hi, I'm Jeff, and I teach practical and spiritual methods for organizing and empowering your life. Today, this video is for sharing with you what a spiritual awakening is and what it means for you and your spiritual path. So to get started, let's first define what exactly a spiritual awakening is and what it looks like. So first of all, what is a spiritual awakening? A spiritual awakening refers to an inner journey of self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment. This experience often involves a marked change in your perception of reality. You start to see things in your life from a very different perspective. You may notice a greater connection to yourself, others, as well as the universe. It sometimes is described as an ongoing process rather than a single event, and it involves phases of realizations and personal growth. Common signs of a spiritual awakening include increased mindfulness, empathy, and a deep sense of peace. It's all about transcending the ego and often leads to profound personal transformation. So many factors can actually trigger this spiritual awakening process. It's very common for a trigger to be something very unexpected and severe in your life. Some kind of an existential crisis, which forces you in that moment to really question your life's purpose and re-examine certain things you've taken for granted about your life. So some examples might be the loss of a loved one. That can trigger this kind of deep, profound awakening. Also, a near-death experience, a really difficult health issue. These are all life-changing events that can really prompt a deep search inward for understanding and meaning. So what are these phases of awakening? The journey typically starts with a yearning for meaning. You start to question long-held beliefs and have a strong desire to discover deeper truths within yourself about life and existence. After this yearning for meaning, we then often go into what's called the disintegration phase. This is where it can feel like your world is collapsing around you, and it's a very difficult phase to go through. This is where old identities and belief systems begin to fall apart, creating a lot of chaos in your life. This is also related to what I've talked about in other videos called the dark night of the soul, where you have a really difficult trigger that then leads you to question what's happening in your life and helps you on your spiritual awakening. After disintegration, we then come to the rebuilding phase. This is where new perspectives and spiritual practices become integrated into your daily life. So during this period, you often have increased self-awareness and inner peace, and you're beginning to find your way forward. Finally, we have the integration phase. This is where you start to integrate this newfound sense of self and new practices and new spiritual practices that you've found now work well in your life. So you start to incorporate some of these new discoveries and integrate them into the new you. So one common question is, how does a spiritual awakening influence your daily life? A spiritual awakening can definitely significantly alter your daily routines and the way you engage with both people and material things. With people and your relationships, it's very common that during this process you shift your relationship with people. You'll likely be, including family members and friends, you'll likely find yourself more drawn to people that you view as more authentic, and you'll search out more meaningful conversations and connections in general. When it comes to material possessions, there's nothing wrong with having nice things, of course, but you may place a greater value on experiences and relationships over just simply acquiring new items. So this shift can also lead to a more minimalist lifestyle, where you can really focus on what truly adds value to your life rather than just acquiring a lot of stuff just because. So ultimately, what is the spiritual awakening process really about? It's ultimately about growth, transformation, and embracing new realities. This includes incorporating new beliefs, values, and behaviors to align with your newfound understanding of spiritual truths. You'll likely notice many changes in how you view the world, interpret events, and even interact with others. And this transformation is an essential part of the spiritual awakening, and it encourages you, ideally, to become a much better version of yourself. During this process, practices like meditation, journaling, or practicing mindfulness can definitely be very helpful. And it's an ongoing process. It's important to remember that this isn't all going to happen at once. This spiritual journey is a long, lifelong process, and these practices, meditation, etc., can help, but it's all about making incremental change in the right direction. So this process is also about living with more purpose and intention. Living with purpose just means aligning your actions with your values and beliefs. So the goal is to become more conscious in all of your decisions, and more conscious in really thinking about, what do you want out of life? What direction are you going in? That's a big part of this spiritual awakening process. So in addition, it's good to occasionally take some time away from your schedule to take a step back and analyze where you're at in this process, what you still need to work on, and what are your goals and spiritual goals, and how can you best get there? So you now have a basic understanding of what a spiritual awakening is, as well as what it means for your spiritual journey. While going through this period can definitely be very challenging at times, it will ultimately lead to a much greater understanding of your true nature and who you are. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.